Hey guys, today I want to give a very early and perhaps even premature review of Firebase Z, the new Cold War Zombies map. I did one of these for D Machine when that first came out, and that video was absolutely hated. Tons of dislikes on it because I focused a lot more on the system than the actual map itself. Since both Cold War Zombies and that map released at the same time, it was really difficult to differentiate which was bringing what to the table, and so at the time I called D Machine a bad to average map just because I thought a lot of the positives that people were giving in terms of feedback were actually results of the Cold War Zombies system rather than D Machine as an actual map. Now that there are two of them though, we'll be able to individually evaluate each of them and even compare them to see how good they are, not just in the system that they're put in, but as maps themselves. Now in this video I'm not going to compare them or anything like that. I'm primarily going to be talking about Firebase Z as a map itself, but it's just good to have a reference point and see what is unique to Firebase Z that is new in this map. So to start off, I want to talk about map flow in Firebase Z. I think that the map flow is excellent, especially considering that they have all these jump pads. I think that it would definitely be a lot rougher without them, and you definitely see that as you get deeper into the game, you have a lot more points to spend and you're more flexible, so you will be able to use these a lot more when you're getting around. Earlier in the game, you might not want to use your 500 points on using those pads to get around, and it may take a little bit longer to navigate the map. However, I think that it's an excellent option, and even the map itself, it's great that there's a teleporter between the firebase and the village, and there's also ways that you can go through the entire map without having to go back to that main area that the teleporter's in when you're in the firebase. I think that the flow is awesome, and I think that it definitely contributes to the enjoyability of the map, if that's even a word. Enjoyment, maybe? I don't know. Anyway, I want to talk about the wonder weapon in this map, the Ray K84. I think that I was a little bit disappointed at first to hear that it does not have elemental upgrades in the same way that there was elemental upgrades in D Machine. However, I think it's probably for the best. I think it gets really lame when you see these upgrades for the wonder weapon as an expectation and common rather than a once in a while really cool thing that is in the map. I also think that the Ray K doesn't even need any of those to be an awesome wonder weapon. I love how you can pack a punch it. I love how there's definitely a ton of different ways to use it. So I definitely think that this wonder weapon is really cool and unique to the map. We've never really seen anything like it before anyway, and I think that it is definitely one of the huge things that helps to define the map and make it awesome. Another thing that I love about this map is the bosses. Even the boss in the Easter egg, if you don't want to do the Easter egg, can be fought round 30 and later, so if you don't want to do that, you still have the opportunity to fight him. There are also two different ones, the Mimics and the Manglers. I think that they add a great change of pace. This map would get a little boring if it was just zombies and maybe hellhounds over and over again, but you definitely get a little spice thrown in there. I will say that I don't love the amount that they're in the game, so in terms of the Mimics and Manglers, I think they spawn in a little bit too much, so if that could get turned down a little bit, that would be awesome. But in terms of intimidation, I think that they're excellent. They're definitely really unique as well, and I really appreciate what they do for this map. Another thing that I'm really impressed by is simply how great the map looks. I think environmentally it really sets a tone, and it's just awesome to be able to run around from room to room. Even if you're not going to use a lot of these spaces, they're still extremely detailed, and I gotta commend Treyarch for doing it that way. That's another thing, is that you can just tell that they weren't lazy with this project, especially when you consider all of the mini Easter eggs that are in this map too. It just released a couple days ago, so not even all of them are found, but there are a ton of little things that you can do, a bunch of different ways that you can get the Ray K84 wonder weapon. They added so much detail into this map. I think that it definitely will add longevity to it, and it also just makes it more enjoyable. However, this is not a zombies map review if we're not talking about the Easter egg, and I think that it is definitely a controversial point. A lot of people said that it is way too easy, which is definitely a justifiable perspective. In my opinion, I think that it is okay for them to do it this way, where it can be found in a couple of hours and pretty much anyone can do it as long as they know how to by watching a guide or something like that. I think it's great for where zombies is going in terms of trying to draw in a huge new audience full of beginners who aren't going to be able to do super difficult Easter eggs. So I think that it's definitely something that I don't prefer, but I also understand why they're doing it and even agree with it. I definitely think that it should have been a little bit harder, a little bit more of a step forward in terms of difficulty from D Machine, but I think that it is probably the right call to make it on the easier side rather than difficult. I think that it just is circumstantially appropriate for the audience that Zombies is moving towards. And lastly, I want to talk about the cutscenes at the end and really the storytelling in general. This map did a fantastic job at progressing the storyline, and I know that not everyone cares about that, but it's definitely really intriguing to see everything that's going on. I'm not sure if any map in Zombies history has done it the way that this map has done it, so I'm really impressed by that, especially the ending cutscenes. There were multiple cutscenes, that's why they're plural, and I think that that was awesome to see where this is heading. They even teased the next map, so I think it's really cool to see how they've planned out even the future, and they're laying the groundwork for that within this map. If I were to give it a rating, which I guess I'm about to, it would be an 8.8 out of 10. I think that there are multiple imperfections in this map, like the Easter egg difficulty and the frequency with which the bosses spawn in, but there is so much good that overcomes that, like the wonder weapon, the detail in the map and the environment, as well as the storytelling that happens. I think that it's an awesome map, and I would 100% recommend that you guys try it out. That's all I have for you guys today. I really hope you enjoyed this video and found it informative, especially if you're someone who hasn't played this map yet and you're trying to get an idea of how good it is. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this, and feel free to unsubscribe at any time as well. And I want to thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate you, and I'll see you in another video.